Hello, and welcome to this London Forex session with your host, DreDayFX. So, as we do every Thursday, is that we look at the market to see if we have any setup using the Enigma AI system that is provided by DreDayFX, aka EFX. So if you're a new member, welcome. If you're existing member, welcome. And if you're seeing this live for the first time, welcome. And we're gonna explain you exactly what we do overall with EFX and how the Enigma AI system works and what is the Enigma system, and we're gonna explain everything on that. So we're gonna start in a couple of minutes here. So we're already at the top of the hour. So I'm just gonna make sure that the link is sent out to the group, and we're gonna start. All right, perfect. So, welcome everyone. So, I just want to make sure that the link is sent out, and we're gonna start. Perfectly on. Welcome. Good morning, good night, whatever you are. So good, perfect. So like I said, is what we do here. We're gonna review the alerts that we have here overall with elevated effects for the week. If we have any setups currently, we're gonna look at them at the same time. And if you have any questions, don't be shy. I'll be here to answer them. So let's get to it. So I'm just gonna share my screen in a couple of minutes, couple of seconds, so we could start. Perfect. Give it 2 seconds. I'm just gonna. Something else here. Here. Close that. Close that. And close that. Perfect. Okay, great. So title number one, if you could see my screen, should be up. I do see it on mine, but I just want to make sure that you see what I see. So we could tag along. Okay, perfect. So I think we should be good here. Perfect. Okay, so basically, what we do here in this session is that we look at the alerts that we had here, or I already tell that it's not alerts, it's trade ideas. Okay, so you have to make sure that it goes along with your framework to execute the trade. So every hour, we have an Enigma AI system that send you alerts here for Forex pairs and indices, a few indices pairs, and do we have metal? I'm just gonna check. Should have gold set up too, but it's rare that we have gold set up on a 1 hour. But that's what we have here. So basically every hour during the training sessions here from Sunday to Friday. So Sunday night, uh, Asian session if you're in the Eastern time, or morning, depending exactly on where you are in the world, until Friday. We have setups that are sent out. So what we're gonna do here for this session, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna maybe ask you guys which pair you want me to look at for the alerts. If you're already a member of DreDayFX, if not, I'm just gonna scroll up and start from the top of the week and look into it here. Make sure that this is charged. Perfect. So the week started here on the 4th. So I'm just gonna go back on the alerts and see what we had here. Right now at 3, we didn't have any alerts, live alerts. So I'm just gonna wait until 4 my time, so in less than an hour, if we have enough live alerts, so I could show you guys how the alerts comes in and everything. But I'll be able to do a replay here and explain you exactly how the Enigma AI system works overall. So let's go back on the 4th. Okay, so here's the first alerts here. No, I think we had a few alerts on the third. The third was Sunday, so it was market open. Okay. Let's look at those and see what happened. So we had OddCAD on third. So let's look at OddCAD on H1. Right. So we said on the third OddCAD. And I will explain you exactly. Like I said, it's not alerts, it's trade ideas, and it has to be in conjunction with your framework, right? And on top of that, you have to know exactly the market cycle and the market patterns to see if it makes sense to take the trade or not. Okay, so let's look at OddCAD. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a horizontal line so we can know exactly when the trade came in. Whoops. Let's remove this one. Perfect. All right. So that's I'm going to show you exactly how I actually look at the market and take the trade or not. So that way you're gonna know, understand exactly what I'm talking about when I say it's not alerts, it's really trade ideas. I always start on the weekly. Okay, when I start my week, I look at to see exactly what exactly happened overall for the week. Okay, so this is the week. This is the current weekly candle. So that candle didn't start until the third, right? So this is the open of the candle. So if we look at the previous market structure, it was on a downside. Okay, it was going down. So and on top of that, you have to look on your left to see exactly, okay, is it still going down, or we're exhausting and doing a little reversal. Okay, so right now it was still going down. So it would make sense to look at the sell. Okay, but the trade came in on a Sunday night. It could be Monday morning for you guys, depending exactly on where you're in the world. But on Mondays, I do not trade, and that's exactly the reason why I do not take trade, is because at that point, okay, I want to make sure that the actual weekly candle started and we're already in perfect, we're already have movement in the market. Okay, so I only start trading on the 5th. Okay, so 5th midnight. So let's go here, 5th midnight. That's about here. Okay, and midnight here was, so that's Sunday, that's Monday, and that's Tuesday. Okay, so from here to the start of the week, that will be here. You can see this is the start of the week, the weekly candle. Okay, so from this range to this range, okay, I do not take any trades. Okay, and as you can see, this alert came in and stopped you out, because you want to make sure that the market gives you an indication of where the week wants to go. Okay, so it basically started low, then traded high, and then went back to the weekly entry price. Okay, and then it took off, right? So I want to make sure, I want to know exactly, okay, is the market is bearish or bullish? Okay, so with this indication, it's giving me a bullish week, and since then it never came back. Okay, so I would only be expecting buys overall for our CAD for the week. Okay, and another thing, I have my COT here, the community of traders. And if you're already a paid member, you know exactly how to, especially if you're in a boot camp. We have boot camp with DreDayFX, the FX Mastery Boot Camp. You know that I was highly like the big movers here. We had CAD, JPY, and the British pound. So I was really expecting big movement against the CAD overall. Okay, so the CAD basically was weakened compared to any other pair. Okay, overall for the week, and odd CAD was on my list here, but my rule is I do not trade on market open. Okay, the first day of the week, I do not trade. I only start trading on the second day. That will be the Asian session of Tuesday. That'll be on the 5th. Okay. So that would not count as a trade for me personally. And that was a loss. Okay. So keep that in mind. Next, I'm not going to talk about indices here today, but those were the alerts here. So now let's see Euro GBP. Euro GBP on the 5th. Just gonna do that here. Just gonna make sure. Is it on the 5th here? No, it was still on the 4th. So 4th, same thing. I only started to trade on the 5th. And as you can see, this trade went nowhere. Okay. So if we go back on, I'm just going to put a line here. Still go back on a weekly, see what it does. So right now the weekly candle for Euro GBP was trading down. Okay. So that's why I want to make sure, I want to know exactly what's the movement on the market first, what exactly the weekly candle wants to do, so I know exactly where to take my trade. So same thing. Euro GBP on the 4th didn't went nowhere. Okay, but we're going to and as you can see here, there was another trade here on the 6 for sell, and that made sense to take it. Why? Because we were trading down overall for the week, starting the week, and it was related to the trend too. Okay, so the fusion is a trend indicator in conjunction with the Enigma AI system, and that's the version 1.1 for anyone that are already a member. So we have 1.0 and 1.1, but the alerts that you're receiving on the FX setups are 1.1 setups. Okay, so the Euro GBP trade from the 6th, that was yesterday, so that was Wednesday, was the optimal entry indicator, a signal, sorry, for this week for Euro GBP. Okay, and that's exactly why I wait for the week to start trading to give me an actual bias of where it's want to go. Okay, so if we go back on the COT, was it Euro GBP on the list? It wasn't there, but we had the British pound. Okay, so even though it's not on the list, guys, anyone that is following the COT, even though it's not on the list, if you have this, the one of the two currencies on the pair, it's something to look for. Okay, so that means that this pair will be a strong mover against any pair. Okay, so since we have Euro GBP, okay, so the GBP pair was stronger than the euro. Okay, and I don't want to go in details with the COT data, but you're gonna see a big swing compared to the euro overall. Okay, even though it was gonna be neutral, and that's why you're not seeing it on the list. It's neutral, but against, if it's, let's say it's a neutral pair, you're gonna see you're gonna still gonna have some strength from one currency to another, and that's what you need to trade on. Okay, so you're going to be trading the British pound going stronger than the euro, and that's why it traded down overall for the week. Okay, so that's a little bit advanced stuff that I'm explaining you guys, but that's exactly the play. I'll keep going to. Perfect. Okay, so how can you contact me is if you're on my YouTube channel, okay, on DreDayFX, you can message me on, I have my IG link on my channel, and you can contact me there. And eventually, I'm gonna add a calendar, and you could set up a session with me just to explain everything. But you could mention me on IG. Okay, so that's no problem with that. Perfect. So you understood, Leon. Perfect. I know you had a question, Leon, regarding like why I think was it odd the JPY that you were talking about, because the JPY it wasn't on the list. So even though it's not on the list, that means it's neutral, right? I show you exactly why it was neutral. But if let's say odd is stronger, like the difference between the data from odd and JPY is bigger from one and the other. Yeah, it was odd JPY, right? Yes, exactly. I remember. Okay, so if it's bigger, like the string between the odd and the yen is bigger from one currency to another, you know exactly which direct, like 95%, you're gonna know exactly what the market wants to do. Okay, so you have to wait. First you need to do, you have to wait for Monday to close, the daily to close, and then you trade the trend from there. Okay, So that's that. Perfect. So let's look at another setup. And Leon, let me know if you understood everything that, but I'm pretty sure you get that, uh, or anyone else that is on the live. Perfect. So let's look at GBP odd. So GB odd. Perfect. Okay. So GB odd. Let's look. GBP. GB. I said GB. Was it GB odd? I'm a little bit sleepy today. GB odd. GB odd. Yes. GB odd. Go. Same thing. This one went to TP1. Okay. And then went back up. Okay. But that's exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Is that this is the start of the week. So if we put a line here and look at the weekly, if we look at the previous candles, it was trading up for the last 4 weeks before the current week. Okay. But when you know market structure and the actual patterns overall, you're gonna see that you would understand that this is not an optional trade to take overall. Okay. Yes, Tommy. Yes, what I'm using is 1.1. Okay. Me personally, I use 1.1. Why? Because this is the on FX setup. Those are 1.1 setups that are sent out, not 1.0. Okay. So what I'm explaining right now is 1.1. Okay. So I know that there's some people that are using 1.0 since the start, but me, I'm using 1.1 because it makes more sense for me. On 1 hour. Okay, yes. So it's 1 hour setups only, Tommy. So 1.1 on 1 hour, and that's exactly what I trade on. Okay, I'm not trading like the lower time frame or the higher time frame. It's only 1.1. And so that's exactly what I use to pass my funding account. So as you all know, guys, I passed my FTMO account, and I'm doing another challenge right now on the 200K. So make sure to look at my channel and see my progress on that. So, but the framework that I have, or everything that I'm explaining you guys, that's exactly how I trade. Okay, I'm not like hiding anything. It's really everything that everyone have access to. You have access to the COT, you have access to the alerts, the trade ideas, and you have access to the charts. Okay, so you have to combine all those three components to be able to be profitable in the market. Okay, so you have access to every tool that I'm currently using. So that's exactly what is shown here. Okay, and I personally optimize the alerts here. If you didn't know, because I'm the software manager here at EFX. So everything that you're seeing, the alerts and anything like that, those are optimized by myself and the team. Okay, so let's continue. So, like I said, GP odd wouldn't take that trade. Why? Monday. Okay, Monday. I want to know. I want to make sure that I want to see exactly what's the structure of the week before taking any trade. Okay, so right now we only had one indication here, and it traded up, went back to this region. If you know exactly what I'm looking at, you would know that there'll be the optional entry for sell, even though you don't have an AI setup. That would be a good overall trade for a sell. Okay, I jumped on into trade this week. Last week, 6 to 7 trades. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So good stuff, Tommy. So that's really, like I said, you don't need to trade every ideas that are sent out, guys. Right? You want to make sure that it makes sense to you, okay, to trade, to take it, and if based on market structure, it makes sense to take it. Okay, so if we were in a downtrend, I would only look for sells, right? Sell setups, and if we're on an uptrend, we're only looking for buy setups. Okay, bullish for buys and bearish for sell setups, but that's pretty much it on that. What risk did you take during funded challenge account? Okay, so me, I the risk. I'm gonna show you, tell you exactly what is my actual lot size per $1,000. Okay, so my risk is point 10. So the lot size is point 10 per $100. Okay. So let's say I have a 10K account. My my lot size is one standard. If it's a 100K account, it will be 10 standard. If it's 200K account, it will be 20 standard. So that's the maximum that I would risk. Okay. So that's the maximum. Okay. And me, I'm not a swing trader. I'm a scalper. So that's why my risk a little bit high, because I know I'm in and out of in the market quickly. Okay, so that is the risk that I have overall. So, but if you're a swing trader, or you're holding on to your trades, make sure to lower your lot size. So especially where I'm gonna show you exactly the setup that I took. I only took one setup this week, and was the CAD JPY that I break down on the boot camp if you're on the call, and I'll show you exactly the setups here for you guys in a few seconds. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Okay, so now you have CAD JPY. Leon, you have to. I don't know. I have to check exactly the fine print on that, because I know that the risk that I like, the actual lot size that I take uh, overall is less than what the amount risk for the funded account. But you have to look at per prop firm to see exactly which one has a maximum risk or whatnot. But overall, I don't think there's a maximum. But I have to double check. So for now, with the lot size that I use, I never have any issues, especially with FTMO. So I didn't have any comeback or anything like that. So I passed the funding with that lot size. That was the max lot size that I use. So I didn't have any issue on that. But you have to look on the fine print to see exactly if there's a maximum risk or not. Okay, so CAD JPY. Let's look at CAD JPY. Okay, so that was the first setup on CAD JPY, and that was a buy. Okay, same thing. So this is the start of the week. Okay, so that's on the 5th. Here, overall for CAD, I was looking to get a sell setup overall for CAD. Okay, and I was looking to get a sell between Tuesday and Thursday. No problem. Okay, so I was not expecting to get on a buy. Okay, the reason why is because there was. I'm just gonna go back. I'm just gonna put a plot a line here. Go on a weekly. Oops. I'm just gonna move those lines. Oh my god. There we go. Change that. All right. So when we look at the weekly, before that candle, that's the current week, right? When we look at the weekly, for the last basically the last year, we go back, yeah. So the last no, for the current year, CAD JPY was always going up. Okay, so there was push up here and then a last push up. So for the last month, it was consolidating here. Okay, but that was the highest point for the year and overall. Yes, overall, yes. So, and it tried to push the price up, up for the last few weeks. But when I saw, if going to H4, so when I saw that was the highest point, right? So when I saw that the price tried to go in that region, I knew that it was going to do a swing failure pattern. Okay, so this is the price trying to reach the highest point, but going at least 50% of the last push. Okay, so that was the last push up. And if we go put a horizontal line here, I'm just going to put it here, and we go back to the 1 hour. Oops. Remove that. There we go. So that was the last push right here. Okay. And this pattern here is called it's called a turtle soup, basically. So it's really like a cup, right? So you see, price goes down, going back up, and that's really an indication that the market is trying to reverse. Okay, so that's why I was expecting, based on the COT and the structure of the market, it tried to go back to the highest point of CAD JPY, but didn't work. And that's why it tried to do a buy here, but it didn't went that far. So you would still be able to take that buy, but as you could see, it only went to TP1 and then tried to reverse. Okay. But me, I was waiting for that to happen. Okay. And then when it did, I said, okay, I'm going to wait for, if I don't have a Enigma set up here for a sell, I'm going to wait to have an indication that the price is trying to do a last push up and then going down. And that candle, the 6-hour candle from the 5th, made the indication. And then at 8, so this is the 7-hour candle, right? So that's the candle that gives the alert. I'm just going to do a replay on that since we're already here. So that's the 7-hour candle. So as you can see, you see when is you could this when you see that, you can see that on a live chart. Okay, so before the alert is sent out with on the FX setup, you're gonna see the candle formation, and it's trying to plot some TP zones, and you have to wait until the actual candle close to have the actual entry price, okay, and the stop loss zone, okay. But when you see that, that means that within the next hour, you should have an alert plot on the trading view, on your trading view account, or on FX setup. Okay, so that's a hint. Okay, but here when I saw that, I said, okay, next candle I'll be entering for a sell, and my target price here was here. Okay, you always want to plot your target on the previous low. That was my target here, but my first target was right here. So my first target was right here. So that was the TP3 zone. And the second one was right here. Okay. So if we continue the replay, you see, I exit out the trade right here. Okay. I put my TP here. It was trailing, but my trailing TP was right here. So it stopped me out right here, and then continue it down, and then try to reverse it afterwards. Okay, and still continue going down. And I'm just gonna remove those. Okay, so let's close that. There we go. Perfect. So did you understand exactly my thought process on that? And this setup, I didn't take it because it already did the low of the week here. Okay, I was expecting to have that as a low of the week. So that's why I was expecting, no, here, right here. I was expecting to have the low of the week right here, but it went further down and then down here. But if I already took a trade on a currency, I walk away overall for the week. Okay. And I look at another setup here on another pair. Okay. So don't be greedy and try to enter the trade like 5, 6, or 7 times. Most of the time you're going to be burned the market will burn you, and you're gonna lose all the effort that you did for the week. That's not what we want. Okay. And on this trade, I made the 1.5% on my FTMO account only with this move. Okay. So first trade I did 1.5. Okay. So, and this video is already on my YouTube channel, so you could revise that and see exactly what I did. But that's that. Let's look at another one. Okay, we're gonna go on ZAR, USD ZAR for a buy. So we had USD ZAR. Do we have USD ZAR? No, we didn't have USD ZAR on the list. Okay. So even though it's not on the COT, you could still trade it, right? If it makes sense on the overall trend. Okay. So let's look at USD ZAR. Oh, and another thing, if you're a FX Mastery member, starting next week, you should see some COT for indices specifically. Okay, so you're gonna have the regular list that I drop every week, but for FX Mastery members specifically, you're gonna have the commitment of traders for indices. Okay, so anything that indices and metal, so gold, silver, uh, US 30 or SSP 500, NAS 100. So you're gonna have that as some setups here. Okay. So same thing, same principle. What you do? Do you trade on Monday? Right, perfectly on. So do we trade on Monday? I wouldn't recommend to trade on Monday. Okay, that's my opinion, and I show you a few setup that came in and didn't make sense to take it. Okay, you want to make sure that you trade when there's a lot of volume in the market. When does we have more volume in the market? Is between Tuesday and Thursday. Same thing every week. You have to you have to trade with the market, right? You have to trade with the banks. You have to trade with the traders. You have to trade with the liquidity, where the liquidity is. If there's a low liquidity, you have less chance to win. If you have a high liquidity, you're gonna have high probability chance to win. Okay, so this is how you have to think. Okay, so let's look at USD ZAR. Let's plot a line. Go. Perfect. Same thing. Look at the weekly, where we are in the market. Okay. Here, based on the previous week, especially this, when I see an engulfing candle from the previous uh, sell week, and it was really higher and closed higher than the previous candle, I'm expecting to have a move going in the same direction. Okay, so I'm still looking for a buy, and Fusion was still showing you as a buy overall. Even though you're not on the H1, because usually Fusion you're gonna see it on the H1 with Enigma AI. If you're on the higher time frame or lower time frame, it was still gonna show you the direction of the market. Okay, so Fusion is still showing you as a buy, so I'm expecting to go in the same direction. Okay, and if we look on the left, we have an indication that the price is trying to go here because it already passed those highs. Okay, those two previous high with that candle. Okay, so I'm expecting to go to have the price going in that region. Okay, and maybe next week it's gonna reverse down, but for now I'm expecting to go up. Okay, so now we go back on the H1. And here, this is another pattern, like the same thing that I talked to you a few minutes ago. Engulfing candle, and it closed almost and engulfing the last 2 hours. Okay, so I'm expecting to go have the price going down, going up, sorry, from that point. And as you could see, this one went to TP, almost TP3, but 2.5, let's say. And then it's gave you another entry for buy. And this one hit TP3, more than TP3. Okay. So yes, that would be a good setup to take based on where we're at in the market. All right. Let's see. So that's the sell. That's the exact. That's the CAD JPY sell that I just was saying you guys at 8. So that's the one that I took. And I'm pretty sure most of the those setups won. But let's look at the odd USD. Odd USD. Same thing. So that was a good setup to take, but the optimal entry was higher here. But it still gave you a move here with TP2. Okay, same framework. I plot my line. I'm just gonna go here and look at the weekly. What the weekly was giving us overall. So the week was still showing us as a bearish week. Okay, from the last four weeks here, and this one closed below the previous candle, previous weekly candle. Okay, so we were expecting to go down still. Now it's closing. We're gonna wait for a few days, but there was a big move here going down, so it would make sense to take it for a sell, and that's exactly what happened here. And let's look at AUDJPY. I think this one to the oops on the right. There you go. Yeah, so same thing. This one hit TP3. And that was the one, that was a setup that I think JPY had it on my, no, I didn't have it on my list. Okay, perfect. So it was not on the COT list, but the yen was really stronger against the Australian dollar. Okay, because I was expecting to have a big move here, and that's what it did. So TP2, and then this one was TP3. So that was the signal that we're looking at. So this one smashed TP3. Okay, same framework. Looking at the week. So we're still it was still a bearish week. We're still looking to sell because the structure was still going down, and that was the highest point here that the JPY went. So we're expecting to go to trade down overall, and that's what it gives you here. Okay, and that's the reason why I wait for the market to give me a direction of where it wants to go before taking any trade. And if there's any my setups, that's perfect. If not, I okay. Black sheep is coming back stronger as alphas. Don't know exactly what you're doing. Okay. So that's good. And let's look. I'm just gonna look at the last one. Okay, let's look at you got Euro NZD. NZD. So same thing, Euro NZD. We had it at that was yesterday, so that was on the 6th. As you can see, Euro NZD smash TP3. Same process. All right. Look at the weekly. Look at where we're at. Okay, it was trending up overall, but then it went straight back down. Okay, so that's why we have to wait until okay, so that was first, third. So since from right there, it was trading down. Okay, and especially when you see that setup, you're expecting to have the price going down. That's what it did. So you had two setups. You have the first one here that went to TP3. Okay, right here, and then it's give you another setup here for another TP3. Perfect. So that's pretty much it. So we're just gonna wait until we have maybe we're gonna have a setup here. The last setup that we had was yesterday morning at 7. So we had NZD CHF and odd CHF. So we're gonna wait a few seconds for the top of the hour, so we could see if we have any setups here at 4. If not, we're gonna close this session. All right. So now we had, there you go. So you saw that live. So you had 4 setup here, 3 setups. So you have Euro CAD, Euro odd, and GB odd. Okay, so those are free signals here for you guys, 3 setups. So I'll just show you that for a few seconds. But this is, I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna look at the EuroCAD. That may be something to look at because I'm looking for CAD here for the week. So this is a setup. So that's exactly how it's plotted here. So you have the stop loss, you have the entry, and you have the TP zones here. Okay. So that's pretty much how you're gonna get the setups here. So you're gonna receive it on the FX setup or on your chart if you set up your alerts for that pair, and you're gonna see them like this. Okay. So that's it for tonight for this session. So hope you had you were enjoying this session here with me. So if you wanna join DreDayFX. Make sure to go back to my YouTube channel and click the link in the description box or on a previous video. Or if you're on the DreDayFX YouTube channel or on any platform, make sure to join and create your free account, and you could upgrade to our packages that we offer, depending exactly on what you need overall. So that's it for me for today. So I wish you a wonderful day and a happy week of trading. So we'll talk next week, same time, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the live Forex session with DreDayFX. Talk to you soon.